Hey, good morning. Welcome to American Reversion. How are you all today? I'm Steve Smith. For those of you who may not know, and it's good to have you here, Danny Boy Crenshaw. I'm going to talk about him for a minute, and then I'm going to talk about some other things that you're not supposed to talk about, right? Well, it's been interesting, hasn't it? It's been interesting since they finally elected a speaker. I have never been a fan of Kevin the Worm McCarthy, but it's like so many things. When people are forced to do the right thing, sometimes they do it. I've always said that people do the right thing for one of two reasons. Either that's just the way they are, or they're afraid not to. And the Freedom Caucus made the Worm afraid not to do the right thing. So they are driving this, and that this shows you that the power. I read a quote earlier this morning. I wish I could remember who said it, but I can't. And I'm not going to pause this to go try to find it. But it says, 10 voices upraised make more noise than 10,000 voices silent. Right? Okay. So we had 20 holdouts there that Danny Boy Crenshaw called terrorists, and they brought McCarthy and the establishment around to a position that they should have held to begin with. They didn't, but they were forced to. So these people that Danny Boy Crenshaw called terrorists, they have been responsible for moving this Republican conference in the direction they've needed to come. And if you've been paying attention, I'm not going to go through the whole litany of things that they have brought about, but it is excellent. Do your own research if you don't already know, and you will, if you're a true conservative, be very, very pleased. I think the future may hold some good things. We can never count on it because it's always politics, but as with politics, it ebbs and flows and the pendulum swings, and sometimes it goes against us and sometimes it goes for us. So, when it's going for us, it's not the time to start complaining and going, oh, well, yeah, but, hey, if you want it to go more the way you want it to go, then stand up and be one of the voices and drive it. These next 2 years have given the political conservatives or reversionists an opportunity to truly have an effect on the people we can most have the effect on, and that is the people who are closest to us in ideology. They have to be made to fear challenges in their primaries, and they need to be made to fear not being reelected. That's the way to keep them on the right track. So what's happened to Danny Boy here, who I don't like, who I've never had any, when he first broke upon the scene, the political scene, we remember like so many, he was a veteran, he's lost an eye. He was a SEAL. Oh man, he's got to be good, right? He's got to be good. Well, it just goes to show you, don't judge a book by the cover, and don't judge a representative by certain things that they've done, because people do things for different reasons. And he may have been a great SEAL. I have no idea. He may have been a mediocre SEAL. Did you know there was such a thing? He might not have been one of the best. Who knows? That doesn't matter. What matters is what kind of representative he is and what his thought process is. And to be honest, I think he's got some real problems. So he went, and do remember, by the way, for those of you who think this is his first little brush with idiocy, do you remember when he kind of bullied that little 10-year-old girl last year who asked him a question about something he'd said in a podcast, and he got all incensed? Don't question my faith. And she says, hey, I'm just asking, it's because he had inferred that and he did. If you go back and read it, he had inferred that he may not have believed that Jesus was a real figure, and she pointed that out, and he just got all incensed. Don't question my faith, blah blah blah. That's not the way you talk to really anybody if you're trying to get your point across, especially to a 10-year-old. And he lost a lot of support over that. I mean, they were, as I recall, they were booing him and everything. But anyway, it turns out that his little shenanigans by calling these people terrorists, and he thought he was backing up. His man McCarthy, right? Because he sees in his mind. He sees he's going to be in leadership. He's going to be one of these people. He's probably always been a golden boy. I don't know anything about him. I don't care to, but he probably says, "Oh, veteran SEAL congressman, I'm headed for the top." And so he's one to. He doesn't really have a strong political or ideological or moral foundation, from what I can see. I mean, he's supported people like Liz Cheney and Paul Ryan, and McCarthy, and so you can see that he's always kind of attached himself to the people that he thinks are rising, right? Because he's gonna ride their wake up to the top himself. Well, so as we can see, he got all incensed and called the people actually doing what they should have been doing, which is have an effect on the political process, those holdouts. He calls them terrorists, right? Well, the people questioned him on it. At first he got kind of snarky, and he thought he was going to get away from it just by bullying his way through, again, like that with that 10-year-old girl. And I guess he found out that these people weren't like 10-year-old girls, and finally had to apologize. I don't think that his apology was necessarily that good. But it turns out that, guess what, Danny? Words have consequences. Yeah. And he didn't get, let's see, I'm reading here. So he lost his place leading the Homeland Security Committee. He was in line. He thought he was going to be the chair of the Homeland Security Committee. And because he had, supported Kevin, he knew he was a shoo-in, and that's why he was so strong about going against these people, right? Well, he showed his butt, and it cost him. It cost him the chairmanship of the Homeland Security Committee. I'm not sure if he's even still on the committee or not. Maybe he is, maybe he's not, maybe he'll pull himself from it out of embarrassment. Instead, Mark Green from Tennessee got it. But it seems that there's a picture that has bubbled up to the surface, and it is a picture of Danny sitting there looking pretty unhappy with skinned knuckles. And I'll see if I can find a picture of it. I'll put that up as the thumbnail if I can. It looks, and people are saying that, well, I won't say what people are saying because you can look it up. But they're saying he was involved in some behavior that, apparently, maybe he punched a wall. Okay, we are seeing the collapse, the tailspin, and probably the end of Danny Crenshaw. Who knows? I mean, Texas might, it's always there's a lot of bumps out there. I mean, I can't stand our representative, but she's never done anything like this, She just has different political ideas than this. She's never gone out and acted like this. But, there's the Congress is full of people who have done. And to be real honest, Dan, to let you know, this behavior is far more associated with Democrats than with Republicans. And I've always kind of suspected that you were a Democrat in Republicans' clothes. So we'll keep our eye on that. A couple of things. Now, these are things, if you've been keeping track of, this is why voting is important. Remember those people that didn't vote are the cause of this. And now we are seeing the worm turn, right? Not really a reference to Kevin, but could be. So we are seeing a number of things happen in that unspeakable subject. The subject we cannot speak about, right? But maybe we can speak about the things that surround it. I look here on, what's this? This is from the Liberty Daily. It's by J.D. Rucker. The Pentagon rescinds the mandate. They do? Really? We got a picture here. It's just funny as can be of Lloyd Austin wearing his mask and his face shield over it and everything. And Fauci there next to him. Let's read just a little bit of this in a memo. Okay. The Pentagon finally withdrew its COVID-19 vaccine mandate today. In a memo, the Pentagon rescinded the mandate for all service members to be administered the vaccine. They also will remove any penalties or reprimands from records of current service members who were punished over their stance or status. Nobody will be discharged over their status going forward. Unfortunately, that does not apply to those who have already been discharged. They will remain discharged and their service records will not be amended. Why not? That's not only stupid, it's insane, and it's immoral. These people have lost careers, they've been chased out of careers. It's unbelievable. Every one of those people, and I hope that it says here that Beaupert, who is doing the Lord's work, man, out there, she says she's pushing for the next step. I haven't really read this, but you can if you'd like. I'll put this link when I put it over to on the Patreon channel for those of you who are on Patreon. By the way, thank you all for supporting us by joining us on the Patreon channel. That's the way that you can support this channel, and I put extra stuff over there. So thank you very much for those of you who have joined us. We appreciate it. So it's going to talk, and I haven't read about this. Let's see for just a second what she has said and see if it's what I think she should do. Now it's time to make right for the people whose lives were destroyed by this disgraceful mandate. And then underneath it, and I'm sure you can read it if you go there, and then it's too small for me to read here. Well, here's what they should do. They should reinstate every single one of those people who was wrongfully dismissed. They should give them all back pay. They should give them all promotions that they would have been in line for during that time, and there should be punitive damages on top of that. And as further information comes out, there should be an investigation into this, and I know there's a big investigation going on. There should be an investigation as to the procedures of the military, of the different branches. What did they know at what time, and was that information, was it proper? Did the people making these decisions in the military straight clear up to Austin, but clear down to whoever? Did they make them in good faith, or was this a punitive situation? And if and I'll just leave it there. This should be fully investigated. Everybody who was damaged should be made whole with a return of rank, back pay. As far as I'm concerned, give them a promotion. Give them a one level of promotion for being staunch enough and smart enough to take the stand they did. And then there should be massive punitive damages so that these people could retire as millionaires if they want to. I know a lot of them. Well, I won't go there. Now here's an interesting thing. The next thing that we couldn't have talked about. This is from California Political Review. I didn't know there was such a thing, but there is, and they have this story. Do you know that Pfizer gave $1 million to the Kentucky GOP to expand its headquarters, the Mitch McConnell building? Really? Huh. Well, now, how about that? What did Congress, I'm reading from the article now, with the leadership of Senator Mitch McConnell, do that warranted Pfizer to give the Kentucky GOP $1 million for a political building? McConnell supported giving the company immunity from lawsuit for a product that was never tested. So the company could hurt as many or kill as many people as they wanted to without worrying about lawsuits. How about that? Mitch, you're not only a snake, but you're a cheap snake. Only $1 million? That's how cheaply you can be bought. I'm going to be talking about in the next one about how you can buy yourself a politician, but that may be, well, it may be a different one. Here's a good one too. From Just the News, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I like that guy. And his advocacy group sued legacy media over the COVID-19 censorship. Among the plaintiffs are numerous individuals who claim to have been deplatformed for espousing positions contrary to those the bloc endorsed in relation to COVID-19. So it says here, why are you in my space? Why are you in my space here? I don't know. Something just popped up. Ooh. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and advocacy group Children's Health Defense announced a landmark suit against an industry partnership of legacy media outlets that they say collectively censor online news. Filed Tuesday in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Texas, Amarillo Division, the suit names the Trusted News Initiative as a defendant. The organization includes established outlets such as BBC, The Washington Post, and the Associated Press. Plaintiffs are suing on an antitrust basis, alleging that the TNI is a classic group boycott, a concerted attempt by a group of competitors to disadvantage other competitors by cutting off access to a facility or market necessary to enable the boycotted firms to compete. Well, this is going to be the first of many, many lawsuits. Okay, I think I'm going to leave that there for that. I bet there's going to be a lot of news today. But to paraphrase Obama's favorite clergyman, the chickens are coming home to roost, right? We'll see what those chickens do, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. You all have a good day. Remember, America needs a reversion. And it needs you to be a part of it. Leave your comments, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.